not going to believe what happened.
What happened in the end? How did
I'll
you?
tell you, you're not going to believe what
Go
happened.
on.
Is I was literally 3 or 4 days into the job, and I hated it. It was one of those jobs where they give you a box of paintings and they would drive you in a van, 3 or 4 of us in the van, to different areas of Business Park. And you'd have to go into the building where it said no soliciting right on the outside of the building. And you'd have to go in anyway and go office to office and try to sell these paintings. And after about third or fourth day, it's 100 degrees in Los Angeles. I'm wearing a suit with a tie. I've got this big box of paintings. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm not doing this. I quit. You were never allowed to leave the building. You had to wait for the driver to come pick you up in 2, 3 hours, whatever it was. And I said, I'm done. I'm going to leave the building. I left the building. I said, I'm leaving. And right across the street was a restaurant here in the United States. It's like a chain restaurant. And so I walk in there and I ordered a burger and a Coke. And I put my paintings on the floor and I started eating my burger. And some guy walks up to me and he goes, what are those? He points to the paintings. What are those? And I went into the script. I went, what are what? Because that's what we used to do when we were standing at an office door. What are what? Like I acted like I don't even know what they are. And he goes, those. And I go, oh, these. And I took one out and it was an oil painting and I showed it to him. And he goes, oh, these are really nice. I'll take 30 of them. I said, 30 paintings? He said, no, 30 boxes. Now a box was about $1,000. You know, it was like $100 and it had 10 of them in a box.
Right.
I said, well, that's $30,000. He said, that's fine. I want to put them in my stores. I go, what stores? He goes, these stores. He was the owner. His name was Frank Karcher.
Wow.
True story. He was the owner of the whole chain. And he happened to be in that store that day. I went back to the office and everybody announced in front of this tall guy, Rich made the largest sale we've ever made in the history of the company. And I believed him. I went, I must be good at this. And the next day I sold again. And the next day I sold again because I believed that guy. I believe I must be good. I believed the day before when he said, you'll never be a good salesman because you're not tall enough. And now I believe when he says, you're the best we've ever had. And I started to sell everywhere I went because I believed. So there's another trait you need to have. You need to believe in yourself.
You got to believe in yourself.